Hi, my name is Grace. I am 19 years old and I have been suffering with eczema all of my life. How are they calling me a grandma when I'm the age of like 5, 6?
It persisted, and that was when my wife took her to the GP.
But it's more the fact that it hurts.
You'll receive a lot more questions than someone with a face full of acne.
What they're saying is true, like my skin is dry, like I have eczema, like I can't change that.
You'll just be itching and be crying and be crying.
Hello! Come on in. So eczema is a common chronic disease. In other words, it's lifelong, affecting 1 in 10 adults. Essentially, it's a dry skin condition.
So trophic eczema is the most common in the UK, and this occurs in childhood and tends to cease into adulthood. There's also contact eczema, which is often onset by allergens, so things like maybe allergic to like different materials and items, clothing, that kind of thing, or even like dust and pollen. And there's also dysbiotic, which tends to be like blisters that primarily occur on the foot or the hands.
From birth, it came like little rashes at the beginning when she was at a tender age, and as she grew up, it spread and began to grow equally as she grows up.
I took her to go and take one of these immunizations. One other lady, I think she came with her own child too, and she was really admiring the Gracie's skin. She said, oh, she's got a very lovely skin.
In the morning, instead of showering, what I would do is get a bucket and apply Dettol and sterilize it into the water, and this is what my mum found. That was the best for me.
The best thing to do is to get in the bath or the shower, and when you get out of the bath or shower, instead of really drying, just dab your skin so it's still damp, and then you put the moisturizer on when your skin is damp.
Specifically primary time, I would get comments that just affected my day. I remember being called a grandma because of the way my hands looked. It wouldn't make me feel good about myself because I was in primary, and how are they calling me a grandma when I'm the age of like 5, 6?
People will begin to wonder, is it a bond? Is it that? What's questions here and there? And when she goes with her peers and her mates, though we don't stay there with her to see her reaction, but we know there will be stares, there will be maybe like children that they ask, some will jest over it, some will laugh, some will make her angry over it.
Teenagers in particular, especially younger teenagers who are very conscious of their looks and their image, can be very distressed by it, especially if it occurs on the face or the hands where it's visible to people.
There is some research indicating that it could be gene related, so there's often a family trend. So a child with eczema may have a parent with it or a sibling with it. It's also predominantly in people with very dry skin.
So you've got the right genetic background and the right external factors. That's when you tend to get the worst cases of eczema.
In our own case, it was different from what we had experienced before, so it became a concern. So kept going to the GP, they kept recommending various creams, Vino cream, E45, aqueous cream. In fact,
there's no cream.
We had to go for some other expensive ones that we recommended, and
African creams.
Like a small tube will cost at about 11 to 12 pounds for the small tube that will last for maybe about 3 weeks or thereabout.
Yeah, there was one cream that someone advised me to buy. That was like over 10 years ago. I bought that tiny cream for £30. and yet it didn't work.
Rock, paper, scissors. Rock, paper, scissors.
Other children had really bad behaviour, really horrible behaviour to teachers and others, and unfortunately this was something I copied and picked up. I did act the way that I did because I wanted to fit in with everyone else, because I did feel like I was an outcast.
Just because of these things, some people might commit suicide, which is the height of it. So we should be mindful as children, as adults, as teachers.
I noticed that she was itching and could not sleep, especially at night. Be scratching those areas that are itching her and bringing sort of blood. Blood comes out, and it was really terrible.
What my mother would do is bath me, just for my skin to feel calmer so that I can actually go to sleep. I would just be up, scratching, that's all you would hear.
I don't think I've ever seen a kind of eczema. Only it's really, really severe and very harsh, that she'll just be itching and be crying and all that, that even when she's hungry she wouldn't want to eat.
We have to be wearing her gloves, so
to prevent her from
scratching
and bringing out blood. Yes, that's true.
If people don't respond that well to the moisturiser, or they need some other help for flare-ups with eczema, then you can move on to steroid creams, which really reduce the inflammation in the skin. In the long run, is that it can prematurely thin the skin. What that means in reality is it ages the skin. In black people, it can strip out the pigment from the skin. So black and Asian skinned patients can actually lose their colour.
If it is ongoing and it's not subsiding with treatment in the community, then you can get a referral to see a specialist or a dermatologist who will review your condition and advise you second line options.
I had it quite bad when I was just born, and then it went away, and then 2 or 3 was when it started getting bad again.
Eczema is one of those things you're born with, but I only realized it was really catching up to me and starting to affect my life when I was at the age of 12.
I have currently been suffering with eczema since I was born. My parents told me I've had it since I was a baby, so I have to go off their knowledge.
My eczema has been a big part of me struggling with my mental health. That being that it's limited me from doing things, comments that people have made, self-worth. That has been a big contributor to having poor mental health.
To say that, I haven't been awfully depressed sometimes would be a huge lie. It's taking me to places where I never thought I'd ever, go to, I suppose. I don't get along with people my age that often.
When I had eczema, when I knew I had eczema, I did hate it about myself. I feel like that was one thing I hated about myself. I feel like I couldn't, because my body looked different to everybody else's, and for what people classified as normal. Because I didn't look like that, I was quite upset.
Because of my eczema at the time, my chickenpox got very severely infected. When I went back to primary school after having some time off, I got nothing but horrible comments about how my face looked, if I was contagious.
I don't think I've once gone on a school field trip. The beach, I can't even go there. The salt water burns, the sun is horrible for me. I can't work up sweats because it's bad for my skin, so I missed out on, practically everything that you'd be exposed to as a child.
When they would insult me over something I can't change, obviously, I've never known how to respond to it, because I feel like, okay, what they're saying is true, my skin is dry, I have eczema, I can't change that. Even if I rub cream 500 times, you will still see my eczema.
It's given me tougher skin to deal with people and people's comments. But it's more the fact that it hurts. It can be painful. It's a lot to deal with. It takes up a lot of my time. And I know that I could do so much more that I can't do.
If you go out, as someone with eczema, you'll receive a lot more questions than someone with a face full of acne, simply because it's less common to see it at such an aggravated level.
You learn to kind of accept it more than when you were younger and you had it. And that is something I wish I could tell my younger self.
I definitely want to do something that brings awareness to topics or subjects, because I just want to help people. I think that's like my main goal, just to help people in some way.
I relied a lot on my family and friends growing up, and I owe them all so very much. I love them all dearly. They've done so many things for me. They've made so many sacrifices.
Whether it's like shown on the outside or even the inside, I feel like hopefully they realize that's something that they should love the most about themselves.
In the Bible, it was the little girl in Naaman's house that told her, if we go to where I come from, there is treatment for this you are going through. It was equally
skin condition.
So if you go to there's somewhere that there's solution. If she had not given that solution, that Naaman would have died as a leprous person.